the ball!
Yep. That's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Well, it all started 3 years ago when me and my son started Ragnarok by killing Baldur, putting all the 9 realms into a Fimbulwinter, still having the whole Asgard in my ass, and unfriending our wife. Apparently she kinda didn't like it when we killed her son. Honestly, I don't even understand what's her deal. Does she not know how many children of gods were killed in my mythology? So, this game functions very similar to its prequel with only a few changes. And the same thing also goes for the trophies. We again have the easy ones obtaining in the main story and also in the side missions. We also can see some reruns trophies like the Creator for collecting all of the artifacts or Full Belly for collecting all health and rage upgrades. But then there are totally new collectibles for more exploration and backtracking. And of course, how could I forget about my favorite Muspelheim challenges that are back? Fucking kill me. With all of that out of the way, let's focus on this bear fight that is just happening on my screen. Or is it the bear? Turns out that it's my son that can turn into an animal. It's great. Now I can beat him and don't feel guilty about it. And that also gives me my first trophy, a grisly encounter, but it looks like my son is not really happy about it. You know what? We can just go back home and sleep through this. What do you think? Or never mind, because there is a Thor with Odin right outside of my house. Well, that's just amazing. Anything else? Ah, very sweet of you. Let me just beat your ass real quick.
How were you? You insult me holding back like this!
You know my past?
The ghost of Sparta thing? Yeah.
Then you know what I'm capable of.
Show me! Come when you That's for Magni! Sorry about your statue, Tyr, you preachy old stick.
Well, he's just better, I guess. I didn't know he had a scripted scene on his side, but it won't happen again. See? I told you. Easy fight. Yeah, you better run away, bitch. And this gives me Blood Depth trophy. Thank you very much. Now I just need to get back home to my son that was this whole time alone with Odin. Surely nothing bad happened there. But he is basically the sole reason why Ragnarok is coming and also is responsible for most of the problems. Oh, he's still right. What a shame. But this leaves us with some things to do. Up to this point, we didn't really want to do anything. We are not stopping the Ragnarok. We are not participating in any war or fights between gods. We're just surviving. But because Odin just got himself involved with my son, it is now my responsibility to protect him from this pedophile. So we went on a new journey to stop Odin and destroy Asgard with him. But to do that, we would need the god of war. But not me, but of these lands, which would be Tyr. That thanks to our observant son, we know that he should be somewhere in the realm of the dwarves, Svartalfheim. So let me just get Knock of the Rust trophy for upgrading my skills and Spit Shine for upgrading my armor. Now that I'm prepared, Svartalfheim, here I come. And would you look at that? A real Tyr was actually locked in Svartalfheim. Could you believe that? That's crazy. But it was a little harder to get there because someone decided to get stuck and I had to restart the whole area. And this isn't the last time I'm gonna experience significant bug. So we have Tyr. Now we have to make him the mighty god of war as he once was or something like that. But we are still short on people if you plan to take on the whole Asgard. So our gameplay changes because now I'm playing as Atreus. And I'm gonna be honest, I really like his gameplay. It's way more fun than any Kratos' Kratos' moves and would rather spend way more time playing as Atreus than having some segments of this game with Kratos. Surely this mindset won't change with some of really stupid exposition and lore dumping location. So, what are we doing exactly? Oh, we are gonna talk to Freya because we are fucking retarded. Yes, of course. Go to the woman whose son was killed by your action. What a smart move. But somehow we survived and achieved absolutely nothing. Well, that's just amazing. Anyway, we are going back to Elfheim to get more lore about the prophecy. Ah, the land of light elves. The species that we helped with the war. It's good to be back in a friendly environment. I'm going to exterminate your whole existence. With that job done, we can go back home, but of course, before that, we need to have Elfheim boss, which is just basically a normal enemy with slightly bigger health bar. With Elfheim finished, it's yet another Atreus Gaming. Ah, Ironwood. Let me just say this. For lore purposes and lore dumping in your first playthrough, this place is not that bad. It's just this huge exposition location. But with replayability, this just does not work. You just walk and walk and walk and listen to lore for 90 minutes straight. This whole segment took me 90 minutes in total, with the boss fights knowing where to go and what to do. It was just so fucking boring. Ironwood is one of the reasons why God of War Ragnarok is not a fun game. The replay value goes significantly down with segments like these. The thought of replaying this game, for example, try the hardest difficulty, doesn't sound as appealing to me, with having to play this long and boring segment. It only lost its purpose and its shock value. It was fine in your first playthrough, but it no longer has this wow moment. Anyway, here goes my little rant about this dog shit game. Let's get the fuck out of here, please! Oh, thank God we are out. Oh shit. But this is not my current home. Oh, this is gonna be bad if Kratos finds out. Well, oh heavens, I beg of you, have mercy upon me and help me get out of this predicament. Ah, that's not really what I meant. I take it back. So here goes my first Valkyrie fight, and of course, I beat her on my first try. But wait, hold on, that's not a Valkyrie, it's my wife, and she comes to me for help. Didn't really seem like it, but hey, sure. I take this trophy and go help her. So basically, Freya can't travel to another realm and is bound to Midgard. And the help is gonna be us traveling to Vanaheim, her homeland, and destroy this whatever it is, and lift her curse. But of course, it can never be that easy, and it's guarded by, yeah, no, I see me pronouncing that. You can make me, fuck you. So I beat the thing, got my trophy for it, and another trophy, how it started, for equipping an enchantment. With helping Freya, she's now again on my side and is willing to take our side against Odin. But now there is another roadblock in an image of my son. Thus decides to fuck everything, goes against my commands and his friends, and went to Asgard to Odin. The levels of my son's stupidity is unmatched. So change of plans, we are going into a war, and we are going to Odin to save Atreus. But first we need a new weapon, a spear Dropnir. And I'll be honest, this weapon fucking sucks. I didn't see use for this weapon on the hard difficulty, and I for sure didn't saw use for it in the normal difficulty. You can comment on how dumb I am, but just don't see this weapon as useful. Oh, and before moving forward, here's my another rant about this game. So put on your protective gear, I'm going to flame this shit. So before Kratos does anything, he decides to go to Norns, which are the equivalent of Sisters of Fate. But what follows is exploring more of the open world. The main quest is taking me to a side quest locations, and when we finally get to the Norns, nothing fucking happens. It was all useless. They say some shit, make fun of us, haha, really funny, writing you got there, God of War Ragnarok, I can't stop laughing. And that's it. No significant information, no progress, no lore, nothing. This whole segment is more useless than Ubisoft historical research team, if there even is any. Us going to the Norns was only for this moment. To coincidentally be in the same location where the only thing that can stop and kill Odin is located. So we didn't knew what to do, so we decided to go to Norns. They made us explore some unexplored areas, and then we finally got to their location. They told us some exposition that we already know, so absolutely fucking nothing, wasted our time, and from our way out we found a magic rope that can kill Odin. All of that meaningless bullshit is just so that we can get to the right location and find this rope by pure fucking chance. The Norns have no meaning, they just get us to this location. If this is not lazy writing, I don't know what is. I'm sorry, but this whole segment in already long game just shows how rushed and unfinished this game feels in terms of storytelling. Why did we go to Nons? I don't fucking know. But hey, we got to the rope, the important thing, by a pure chance. This game is just fucking dog shit. And don't even get me started on our way to create Dropnir. We have dwarf friend that teleports us into the realm of the dwarves. But instead, this game decides that the only teleporter is gonna be in a fucking underground. Because this game definitely needs more new locations. Like, why is this here? It again adds nothing to the story. It adds fuck all to the gameplay. Why do we have to go through this whole new location with the same fucking enemies that we already saw? We don't have the spear anyways. Why are we doing a fucking combat? And this whole time, Brock is not even with us. He joins us when we get out of there, and then we learn more about him. And that's where the story in this segment starts. This is where we start to get to know Brock a little bit more. We also still have to do some puzzle and some small encounters. So why the fuck is this underground segment there when we are gonna do the same exact shit again outside? Again, it's useless, worthless, fucking waste of our time. How can anyone say that this game has a good pacing? It fucking doesn't, and pulls out a new location out of its ass. This game is way too long for no fucking reason, and it's only because of these ideas. Ragnarok is still a very good game compared to most of the AAA garbage that we are getting, but holy shit, these segments are making this game so unbelievable bad. So that was my little rant about this game. I just needed to get it out of my system, and that's not the last time I'm going to do this. Oh boy, there is way more. But now let's get back to the story. So where were we? I had Dropnir Spear and saving my son from the claws of Odin. But before I went home to talk to the voices, I swiftly went on a little sidetrack to finish one of the side quests and getting my next trophy, Rebel Leader. And when I was already in that location, I also helped Mimir repair his mistakes. It didn't go as he hoped it would, but I got my trophy, so it was a win in my eyes. Now that I have finished my business here, it's time to swap characters and again play as Atreus. And this time, surely I won't fuck up anything. So I went to Hell and freed Garm, a hellhound that chews through the fabric of realms. Basic translation, beyond fucked up. But somehow the most reasonable person in this conversation is Kratos. Okay, I take it back. Kratos has done way worse than just releasing an animal that can travel through realms and possibly destroying everything. We are the animal. So I'm gonna take this trophy, thank you, and we can move on back to Hell and kill the doggo.
I'm on it!
So, see, it wasn't that bad. Just stay down, please. So with that small problem out of our way, let's travel back to Valheim and prepare for Ragnarok. And in better case, we also kill Heimdall if he is stupid. Spoiler, he is. So I absolutely devastated his face and realized that I'm coming back to my old Spartan days. Oh, I wish that writing was this good. Now that we have obtained the horn that can start Ragnarok, I'm actually not gonna progress with the story. You already know the drill. New location, it's exploring time, baby! This time I followed a specific track that led me to this hidden area. And as much as I shit on this game, the crater is my favorite area. It is filled with so much lore and mystery, and I just love the way how we slowly discover the past of this place. From the very first moment we get to this location being met with the same phenomenon that we have created in Midgard when fighting Thor. Amazing stuff, but a very good thing needs to have its negatives. So let me touch a little on something I haven't talked about at all, and that's a gameplay. Specifically the combat. And yes, this is yet another very important yapping segment, so sit down and listen carefully. This game just for some reason never felt the same as 2018 God of War, and I didn't really know the difference. It just felt weird and I couldn't explain it. But as I was editing this and saw the gameplay side by side, I finally saw this. These are indicators, and these are supposed to be your friends. You can't really see what is happening behind you with this camera, and so these indicators should help you with your surroundings. If it's yellow, it means there is an enemy that direction, but he's not a threat yet. You don't really need to pay any attention to him until it turns red. If it's red, it means that the set enemy is currently in attack animation, and there's a huge chance that he is going to attack you. Lastly, it can turn purple, which means an enemy is launching a range attack. Now let me show you this clip and try to spot what happened. Did you saw it? Because I fucking did. And this is where I realized that these indicators doesn't fucking work in this game. I was clearly hit by the Drakey that was behind me, but indicator didn't turn red as it should. And I'm 100% sure I got hit by the one behind me because this happened twice in the same fight. These indicators that are supposed to show you that what is happening behind you because you can't fucking see that are not working as they should be, and I got hit by an enemy from behind many times. That should not be possible. And this is how the same thing works in God of War 2018. It flickers a lot and it also shows enemies that are far behind you and they can't ever hit you, but at least it fucking works. And I would rather have this working mess than losing a fight because this game is fucking retarded. And this wasn't the only frustrating thing that happened. So first of all, this enemy that is right in front of me did not kill me. In fact, it didn't even damage me. And I know it because it's in staggered animation. So what killed me? Well, it was that fucker that is right behind him. Actually, even worse. It's behind a fucking pillar. I got killed by an enemy's projectile fired from behind a fucking object. This, by the way, never happened to me in God of War 2018 because these creatures are smart enough to know that wall equals no damage. I don't know what happened in the combat department, but they had to do something horribly wrong when half of the things from 4-year-old sequel that was perfect are not working properly. One last question for all the Ragnarok lovers: how the fuck do you parry this? I thought that these indicators were supposed to show me quite accurate timing for dodges and parries, but apparently fucking not, because this guy just decides to roleplay Mesmer before the game even came out. Like, how horrible is this gameplay? I need legitimate answers. Tell me, how is it possible that I'm witnessing shit like this in a sequel to a game I had nothing bad to say about? Do you see what is happening half of the segment about Ragnarok? It's just me pouring out of my frustration about this game. Half of the scripts for Ragnarok is just shitting on the functions of this game. And I'm not even halfway done with this shitty sequel. And I also still didn't even talk about this fucking shit scene. I just can't understand how every single decision in this game is worse than the previous one. Being it way the story is handled, the script writing absolutely abysmal. Thanks for making God of War game like fucking Marvel. I always wanted unfunny one-liners in my God of War game. Thank you, developers. Now I see why Cory Barlog wasn't the director to this game. Okay, I'm done ranting. I think that was enough for this segment. But stay tuned, in the next episode we are going to look at quantity over quality and berserkers, so don't throw away your popcorns yet. Now let's get back to the trophy hunting. New location, the crater, a lot of stuff to do here, but mainly trying to uncover the truth via side quests. And it was quite fun to just wander around this beautiful place and... crazy people out there. So, to get one of the trophies, Pure of Heart, I need to talk to Ratatoskr, get some very specific things from him, and then find all these things scattered around this whole area. Once I find them all, I get this trophy. The second trophy... oh, not again. Can you just get the fuck out? So, the next trophy is invasive species, and this is very simple, just murder everything that has boss health above it. Mostly it's some thingies you find while exploring, and also some dragons that are actually very fun to go against. And once I find the last remaining special Trekkie, I get the trophy. So you won't stop, huh? Fine, come here, you little fuck, I'm gonna...
She's on the run again.
Perhaps the Huntress has a den.
I suspect this'll lead us back to that den we came across.
Then we can...
Anyway, another trophy obtained, and when I'm at it, let's also add a new friend trophy for completing Lunda's quest. Oh, what is it? You don't know who Lunda is? Great! So the next step we are gonna do is play as Atreus and infiltrate Asgard, finish some things for Odin, but actually just make him think that we are helping him. That kinda worked, and we have this mask. I'm not gonna explain this. So we are back at home and shit happens. Let me for once talk positively about this game. This whole sequence with Brock going against Tyr, trying to find what is wrong with him, there were small hints throughout this whole game that Tyr is actually Odin. The biggest slip up was at this exact scene when Tyr called Atreus Loki. Brock obviously suspected something, and he was right. Unfortunately, he got way too close and Tyr, this time Odin, stabbed him. It then followed with the whole gang trying to stop Odin from taking back the mask. That somehow worked, but Brock is severely wounded. Sindri at his side having a little conversation. The whole scene then focuses only on these two, with the background showing only ember that is slowly burning down behind them. Being it just a metaphor for Brock's own life slowly fading away, or both of them being tied to an embers as a blacksmith, either way, this is the greatest moment in this whole game. Somehow, the camera work and the storytelling through the show don't tell was perfectly executed in this scene. And what it follows, Sindri's broken spirit and huge 180 in his character, was the definitive peak of this game. Every scene with Sindri from now on is emotionally strong, and this whole segment can rival with Blades of Chaos scene from God of War 2018 for being one of the greatest scenes in gaming. With that said, let's go to a different note, and that's finishing this game. So first, we need to travel to Muspelheim. Thank God this level is back. I cannot wait for the challenges. And yes, there are again Muspelheim challenges. But now we are here to look for Surtur, the Ragnarok, and after having a friendly conversation with him, we convinced him to kill himself. But our way back won't be that easy, because guess who is back? Yes, of course. One wasn't enough, so why not just put two at once? And I'm just gonna say it straight up, this is fucking garbage. They're extremely easy to beat, and just because there's two of them doesn't mean it is a challenging fight. What I liked about Valkyries in the previous game was their uniqueness and the challenge they brought. But these are not unique. Just because there's two of them doesn't make them immediately unique. What about their pattern, how they fight? Most of this fight is just me dodging projectiles like I'm playing some fucking rhythm game. It feels like a bad platformer fight. The finishing scene tries to be cool, but the only cool thing about this whole segment is the Glock next to my head, and also this trophy. I just hope that the ending sequence is gonna be good and not rushed at all. So, after killing Surtur, the only thing we just need to do is use the horn and start Ragnarok, where all the realms will join against Asgard. And we are the general. Kratos is the one making the call. Kratos is the one leading everyone into the war. Kratos is doing the thing he swore to never come back to his old Spartan days, leading people into war against gods. This scene is amazing. It is great atmosphere, it is great soundtrack. So let me ask something. Why are we having this whole segment about Kratos going back to his past self? He cannot escape the past, he cannot escape the monster he once was that destroyed a whole pantheon. He's once again leading people to war, something that he swore to never do again. He's now the closest to the Greek Kratos we ever saw him. So why can we have a glimpse of his old theme from the Greek mythology to further show his past ways? If this isn't the best time to use his old theme in the new one, colliding with each other, showing how he is going back to the old Kratos that went against the Olympus, like I know he's not even close to what he was, but just him leading an army against another pantheon and his final goal being killing the main god in the Norse mythology. Why not just use something from his old theme when he is already showing glimpses of his past self? Why make good decision, right? This whole segment in Asgard is as well just so fucking bad. It shows how rushed this game was, how they wanted to end this story in just 2 games. I'm not gonna pretend like I know better. I honestly don't know what could they possibly be doing in the 3rd game. Maybe doing something similar to God of War 3, but why would they do something that already exists? But the fact that this Asgard segment is extremely fast, going from one encounter to another, and then after 10 minutes changing their whole plan of destroying Asgard to don't destroy Asgard and help the people instead. Because we are humans, we have emotions, we can't just start a war and kill the innocents. Just doesn't feel like actual story being told. There are no emotions, there are no stakes, it is fast paced where the goal objective changes after 10 minutes with its overall feel. And as I was ranting about this game, I got to the final boss of this game. But first we need to to have rematch with Thor. This fight is basically the same it was the first time we fought him, with now him having one undodgeable bullshit attack. And after we defeat him, there is Odin. I've already stated my disagreement with the double Valkyries fight where it felt like platformer. Odin is the same issue with even bigger scale. I have to dodge and shoot projectiles in between his attacks. I have to constantly move around the whole arena to catch him or even punish him. And then I have to jump from one platform to another because he's doing a full-scale area attack that only targets 2 of the 3 platforms. This is why this fight feels like a bad platformer. Like, why do I have platformer fight in my God of War game? This shit feels like I'm fighting a boss from Crash Bandicoot. What happened to his special boss fights that God of War series was known for? Why is my screen constantly overwhelmed by flashing colors from his attacks? Why does every major boss feels like a bad platformer boss or a really bad imitation of Randman? Once I defeat his first phase, I get to see the rope in action. Of course, that rope doesn't do its job for more than just a minute. So basically that whole segment with Nords that I've already burned to the ground is even more useless now, because this rope did the jack shit. With the second phase, he uses more of his range attacks and it gets increasingly more difficult to punish him. This is not a good fight. This is a dogshit platformer rhythm game-esque fight. And with that, I finish the story of God of War Ragnarok. One last thing to do before exploring and getting all the miscellaneous trophies, going back to Svartalfheim to attend the Brock's funeral. And that should give me last trophy, Funeral for a Friend. But now I still have some remaining trophies to hunt, so let's get it. I can get some easy trophies from the shop by buying the Dragon Scale breastplate that gives me the Dragon Slayer trophy, Phalanx by getting all the shields in the game, Gold trophy Ready for Commitment for fully upgrading one of my armor sets, trophy How It's Going by repairing the Amulet of Yggdrasil, don't ask, I myself have no idea what the fuck is that, and last trophy from the shop, the Collector obtaining all relics and sword hilts. There was also one more trophy with Ratatoskere and again finding and capturing some of his creatures. For the next trophy I need to go back to Alfheim and explore its new location and finding and releasing this jellyfish-like huge creature twice. After doing that, the storm in this location will clear out, making the exploration way more doable and getting full Goofa trophy. When we are all talking about the side stories trophies, there is one more in Vanaheim. It was a good day by helping Freya conquering her past. In Midgard I can do some clearing for camps and then getting Bestie's trophy for literally just petting my wolves. Now comes the shiny collectible trophies. Full Belly for fully upgrading my health and rage, the Librarian for collecting all the books in the game. Jokes on you, I cannot fucking read. And on the same boat is the Crater for collecting all the artifacts. And last collectible, the Florist, that is obtained by fighting these flowers in every realm. And that leaves me with some of the best trophies in the entire game. That was a joke, there is nothing best in this game. Because the next trophy is in Muspelheim. Fucking Muspelheim challenges. And now they are more grindy, way shitter, way longer and way more exhausting, and after 2 hours of doing the same exact shit over and over and over again, I just fucking lost it.
The Alpha!
Because there is no fucking stagger, because this game is fucking bullshit! My burnout is hella justified. Doing these challenges wasn't fun, and there was never anything unique about them. All of them were on the same basis, and all of them fucking sucked. Combine this with the combat complaints I had, you bet my controller is gonna end up like this. But thank God I got the trophy Trials by Fire, and I'm never coming back to this game, because surely I won't convince myself playing this game on Give Me God of War. And that leaves me with 2 trophies left before getting my Platinum trophy. So here we go, sit down because it is time for my last rant segment. Berserker's Greystone is the new equivalent of Valkyries, with as well having the final raid boss. Here is my problem though. With Valkyries, what I like the most is how unique and challenging they are. Each and every Valkyrie having its own style and unique environment. Gundul was one of the Valkyries that was found on top of the volcano in Muspelheim, so obviously her attacks are gonna be mainly around fire. Hildur was in Niflheim that has time-based challenge, where you only have set amount of time to stay in the mist until you start taking damage. That's why her kit is so simple with a lot of punishing windows. Every Valkyrie is distinguishable from each other. That's what makes them so good and fun. The challenging aspect with them is their aggression and their playstyle. They're still lady bosses, so they will do a lot of damage, but their pattern of attacks is simple to learn, and the fight becomes significantly easier once you see the timings and right opportunities to punish them. Valkyries are still hard, but they never feel unfair or overpowered. Berserkers, on the other hand, are the polar opposite. Yes, they are different. They do have different style, have different weapons, and have different design, but there is no gimmick in their fight. fight. The environment doesn't play any role in their playstyle, and if you look at them closely, apart from having a different weapon, their patterns never changes and the attacks are the same. There is no distinct theme with their fight. Yes, there's this guy that summons enemies connected to the area you find him in, and he's definitely different from others, but does this pattern changes? Does he have some distinct attacks only he has? No! Fuck no! He has the same attacks as every other berserker in this game. He jumps into the air. I've seen it already. He has range attack. I've seen it already. He has multiple combo attack. I've seen it already. He has this extremely delayed shit. Of course he has. What berserker doesn't have this? Going back to Valkyries, Kara is the one that also summons enemies in a fight. Now, I do know that all the Valkyries also have the same attacks, but here's the difference. Her first attack is her wing attack, but there is no follow-up after that, and you can easily punish her here. And she's the only Valkyrie with this iteration of this attack. Her second attack is from afar, shooting unblockable projectile at you. That mostly follows with her third and last attack, her variable attack that you have seen already. But that's all she does, combined with her passive strategy where she mostly dashes away from us to use her range attacks. That is what is unique about her. No other Valkyrie does that with a limited amount of attacks and one that is slightly altered. With this berserker, every single attack he does you've already seen. You have already experienced. There's no different iteration of his attack or different pattern of his moveset. It's the same exact boss with just different design in a different arena. And this is every single berserker. There's almost no difference apart from having a different design, different weapon, or being in a different arena. And that's it. And then there is again the quantity over quality, where they put 2 or even 3 bosses in the same arena that doesn't work with each other, with no synergy, and it's just pure cancer trying to balance between 2 same type of attacks. And all of this is wrapped with the biggest complaint with this game, and that's the new iteration of parries. I didn't touch on that matter, but now it is a good time to talk about this. In God of War 2018, every time enemy did an attack marked with yellow circle, it was parryable attack, and that would stagger that enemy, and you could then punish them. And this also worked with bosses. They would always get staggered by your parry, even when the attack wasn't marked with the circle. Just you parrying an attack was enough to open a punishing window for you. In this game, it's not like that at all. It doesn't matter how many times you parried that enemy. It doesn't matter how perfect your parry was, or if it was the specifically marked attack for parry. They would almost never get staggered and would continue their long ass combo where you could parry 5 attacks back to back, but it still wouldn't do anything and wouldn't open any punishing window for you. Instead, what it does is filling this parry meter that after being fully built up, it would just deal some damage and only then he gets staggered. His posture breaks and you can finally punish him after fucking 40 parries with the smallest payoff. Amazing fucking idea, game. So basically, parrying in this game makes almost no fucking sense, since you can't even punish anything after parrying. You can't launch any follow-up attack, otherwise you would get hit by his combo. You just have to parry 4 fucking times for no fucking reason. They just build up some shitty ass system. So not only that the berserkers are supposed to be the next version of Valkyries that totally missed the mark, having to play this game with broken directional system that half of the time doesn't tells me if the enemy behind me is attacking or not, but also the parrying system in this game is fully overhauled with no payoffs for having aggression playstyle. And as the cherry on top, the last 2 remaining trophies are for defeating 2 different extremely difficult optional bosses. I want to kill myself. King Hrolfr is supposed to be the Sigrun replacement, having all of the berserkers attacks in one kit with a lot of HP. But as I said in my statement about berserkers themselves, King Hrolfr is no different. Most of my frustration comes from the game core mechanics, like I've already said. Parrying any attack and trying to be as aggressive as possible is not the option here, because I'm staggering shit. And the punishing windows for this guy feels even smaller and more tedious. He perma jumps around and I have to micromanage my placement to not be close to him to get myself punished, but also not too far. And here's why I hate this guy. This singular attack is taking this fight from challenging to annoying. If you are not careful, you will get destroyed by this AoE attack that cannot be cancelled with your shield. Are you way too close to him because your playstyle is extremely aggressive? Well, too bad. Here's an AoE attack that will hit you if you reacted way too slow. God of War Ragnarok feels like a game that tries to seem like you can choose your own playstyle with the amount of weapons and upgrades you have in your disposal. But the reality is that the bosses are the one controlling the flow of the fight and not you. With Sigrun, I played extremely passive and waiting for my openings. But could I play more aggressively? Yes, and I would still be able to punish her. Actually, I would be rewarded more for my aggression. In Ragnarok, it feels like I am never allowed to play the game, and I have to change tactics and playstyle according to the boss. This may not be a bad thing inherently, but I want to feel like I'm getting rewarded for my aggression and not punished. And lastly, if he has Bifrost attacks and he decides to do this spinny attack, then try to parry accelerate, because if you do, and you don't miss any of your parries, you still get punished for playing the game, because now you are fully covered in Bifrost after perfectly blocking every single attack. The design of King Hrolfr isn't bad at all, and it still brings quite an interesting challenge. But what I don't like, and is the sole reason why every boss in this game is just not that enjoyable and it's pure nightmare, is how the gameplay feels. With weird changed mechanics that rather punishes players instead of rewarding them, indicators that doesn't work half of the time, and the most frustrating part are extremely delayed marked attacks that happens years after the mark disappears. And with that, here's my trophy, and it's time for my last challenge. To wrap this thing up, Gna has the same problem I have with every single boss in this game. It's the extremely weird platformer-esque fight that doesn't feel good. None of her attacks feels well telegraphed, some of them even looks very similar to each other, and I have to play fucking gamble on what attack she's gonna follow up with. Not to mention how many times I died on some weird attack at the end of her combo that you just can't ever possibly be able to react in time. This game never felt as clean as its prequel. The gameplay felt so much worse with all the changes, and not even a single boss was memorable, well made or well telegraphed. There was always so much happening on your screen, and you were always forced to use the mechanics of the game to be able to answer to some of the special attacks. You are never rewarded for aggressive playstyle, and you are never in the control of the fight. Parrying is extremely useless when you can't stagger or cancel enemies' long combos, and on top of it all, you can get status effects by poison or Bifrost even when parrying. That changing gameplay between Kratos and Atreus was really well implemented, and some of the story decisions were awesome. The writing, the light tone in a incoming war story with cringy jokes and one-liners is something that for me pushes the franchise to not really an enjoyable light. It's no longer the dark themed story with a brute main character. God of War Ragnarok is a unfinished and rushed mess that tried to change and improve stuff that were already perfect. I don't like God of War Ragnarok and never will, and for me this is the weakest game in the entire franchise. And with that platinum trophy, I am never touching this game ever again.
Hey, check it out. Marco.
Really?
Come on.
No.
Marco.
Polo.